We're back. Obama under attack from the Clinton camp tonight for praising John McCain. And Clinton's biggest supporter in Pennsylvania now being linked to Louis Farrakhan with the Pennsylvania primary now less than 10 hours away. It's time for an all-important win, lose, or draw edition of On Their Trail. Here now, MSNBC political analyst Michelle Bernard. She's the president of the Independent Women's Forum. Still with us, MSNBC political analyst Pat Buchanan and Rachel Maddow. First up, Obama stumping in Pennsylvania over the weekend, committing the sin of suggesting a John McCain presidency wouldn't be as bad as President Bush.
You have a real choice in this election. Yep. Either Democrat would be better than John McCain. And all three of us would be better than George Bush.
Clinton wasted no time jumping all over this one. Here's what she told a group of Pennsylvania voters.
We need a nominee who will take on John McCain, not cheer on John McCain. And I will be that nominee.
Now, that might be fair, except for the fact that Clinton herself praised McCain last month.
I have a lifetime of experience that I will bring to the White House. I know Senator McCain has a lifetime of experience that he will bring to the White House. And Senator Obama has a speech he gave in 2002.
I mean, Pat, you can't have it both ways, can you?
Yes, you can. Foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds. Look, let me say this. I think Barack Obama's statement helps him. You know why? Because his best asset is he's a gracious guy. He throws a compliment across the line. It's like somebody going into the Super Bowl saying, you know, we're playing Brady and the Patriots. That's the greatest team in history. It's an honor for us to be in the game. It does him well. That's Barack's best quality.
Michelle?
Hey, this is a lose for Senator Clinton because the videotape, Dan, will always get you. Like you just said a little while ago, you can't have it both ways, and that videotape will be replayed over and over and over again where Senator Clinton is setting herself and Senator McCain up as the people with the most experience. So I say it's a lose for Senator Clinton tonight, and she will probably regret saying it.
I'm with Michelle on this.
Intellectual consistency has not been a great strength of the campaign.
Intellectual consistency or just knowing what you said before.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you have to follow a complex argument.
I'm ruling this a lose for Clinton in our first call of the night. Next up, from the Do You Really Want Me endorsement file. That was from that song. Controversial filmmaker Michael Moore has endorsed Barack Obama. Moore writing on his blog today, quote, over the past 2 months, the actions and words of Hillary Clinton have gone from being merely disappointing to downright disgusting. I guess the debate last week was the final straw, so if you live in Pennsylvania, can you do me a favor? Will you please cast my vote and yours on Tuesday for Senator Barack Obama? But Rachel, does that actually help?
I think so.
Really?
I mean, I think in the Democratic field, sure, the guy who made Sicko, the guy who made Fahrenheit 9/11, the guy who's been, sure, demonized by the right, but so is MoveOn.org.
Right.
Both MoveOn and Michael Moore and some of these other groups, Code Pink even, have been demonized by the right, but they still have a lot of credence on the
Pat, there's not a single person I can imagine who is going to vote for Hillary Clinton who will now say, you know, Michael Moore is supporting, and I think that actually,
I don't think that's right.
I think anyone who loves Michael Moore is already voting for Obama.
I think the Republicans love this endorsement. They're quite happy with it. All we need now is Heisman Trophy winner O.J. endorsing Obama.
No, I know that Michael Moore has become a figure of ridicule in the mainstream media and on the right. But you know what?
No,
people go see his movies, and people respect his activism.
There's no question. Look, there's no question he's got a following. Yeah. I mean, no question about it. But isn't that following the same people who are already voting for Barack Obama?
Not necessarily.
Really?
I think that if you look at who he thinks his following is, I mean, he's the man from Flint, right?
I know what he thinks.
Right, but I mean, his documentary about Sicko, for example, was not a documentary about, as Pat would say, the professoriate. Yeah. It's about working people. And I do think that Michael Moore, while ridiculed and while you can't take the smile off your face while we talk about him.
I'm about to call it a lose, so I'm giving you a clue. I'm calling this a lose for Obama. Go ahead, Michelle.
He's an influential guy.
Michelle?
I'm calling this a draw tonight. I think Rachel said it perfectly, though, when she said it's who Michael Moore thinks his supporters are. I think this could hurt Barack Obama with Reagan Democrats and with independents, whose vote he has done so well at courting. But quite frankly, I also cannot imagine that anyone is going to vote for Barack Obama because Michael Moore says, hey, he's my man.
I am going to rule this one a lose for Obama. It certainly doesn't hurt him, I don't think, in the Democratic Party. There it's a draw. But you know Republicans are chomping at the bit to call Obama a Michael Moore Democrat in the general election. Next up, the battle over controversial Minister Louis Farrakhan somehow continues. He became an issue during last week's debate. Clinton mentioned Farrakhan again because Obama's former pastor Jeremiah Wright has connections to Farrakhan.
As leaders, we have a choice who we associate with and who we apparently give some kind of seal of approval to. And I think that it wasn't only the specific remarks, but some of the relationships with Reverend Farrakhan.
The problem? Today, video surfaced of Clinton's biggest backer in Pennsylvania, Governor Ed Rendell, standing on the stage with and praising Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam back in 1997.
And next, I'd like to thank the Nation of Islam here in Philadelphia. To thank you for what you stand for, and for what you stand for all the good it does to so many people in Philadelphia.
I've got a smile on my face again, Rachel. It wasn't just over Michael Moore.
Yeah. Guilt by association is always going to come back and bite you. You're going to go after him on the Weather Underground stuff? Well, guess who Clinton commuted the sentences of in 2001? President Clinton. You're going to go after him on Farrakhan? There's the Ed Rendell tape. Similarly, Barack Obama going after Hillary Clinton for taking money from all these unpopular industries. Yeah. Well, we can find people from those industries who gave Obama money, too. Guilt by association is a stupid political tactic unless you are a newborn running for office.
I got to move on this one. I'm going to call this one a quick lose for Clinton only because she tried to raise Farrakhan as an issue at last week's debate. Next up, John McCain running in circles yesterday trying to deal with his own pastor problem. McCain sought the endorsement of Pastor John Hagee, who once called Catholicism the great whore. Shortly after hammering Obama on his relationship with Reverend Wright, McCain was asked about Hagee.
When your own campaign acknowledged that you should have done a better job of vetting Pastor Hagee. So was it a mistake to solicit and accept his endorsement?
Probably. Sure.
So you no longer want his endorsement?
Many things. I'm glad to have his endorsement.
Okay, so it was a mistake to accept Hagee's endorsement, yet he's glad to have it. Michelle, that doesn't sound like straight talk to me.
I got to tell you, the Straight Talk Express lost a wheel on that comment with George Stephanopoulos over the weekend. That's a lose for Senator McCain. You can't have it both ways. I understand what he's trying to do. Earlier when he denounced or renunciated Reverend Hagee, and I can't remember which one it was that he did, conservative commentators said that this was terrible, that he threw him under the bus. And then there are other people, moderates in particular, who felt that he was going after the conservative vote. But the bottom line is the videotape will get you every time. And you can't have it both ways.
Pat?
I think it hurts McCain. Look, no doubt about it. Hagee has enormous support in the Jewish community. He's the virtual leader of the Jewish Christian coalition. He comes to Washington every year. He's a friend, I believe, of Joe Lieberman.
I think he's got a lot of support in the sort of fundamentalist Jewish faith. I mean, I don't know if there is such thing.
We want Jews in the right spot. It's easier to get to after the rapture. Sure. It's kind of a creepy idea about the Jews.
It's the Schofield Bible people. But let me say this. Politically, McCain is going to be hurt by it because it's going to come back. They're going to say, how can you be... accept the endorsement and denounce what he did. Isn't that what Obama did with his Reverend Wright?
Down as a lose for McCain.